guys, it's Sandy. I'm inside at my house, hiding from the cicadas. Can you believe how loud they are? I mean, it's true. I back to the forest preserve. So I basically live in an oak forest. You see that? So we really are getting loud. But I'm inside hiding, and it's kind of a nice soundtrack once removed. So I'm going to go over some of my favorite books just to give you a sneak peek, only to the VIPs. And you guys, D-Day, 80th anniversary is Thursday. I loved this book. It is so relatable. Ray Lampert lived to 101. He was a veteran. He was a medic when he was 23 on D-Day. He stayed in the war and was of service in Sicily and North Africa. And this is his memoir. So Jim DeFelice wrote the memoir along with Navy SEAL, I forget his name, but it was American Sniper. And this is just the most wonderful story told in his aw shucks voice about his experiences. And childhood of the Depression, I've told you a little bit about him. He had to just make ends meet. He knew to do all kinds of stuff. And what I can't believe is, what I love, is some of the wisdom and maturity he showed. He's 23, and he's talking about how it's so dangerous to be a medic, and he is not one to brag at all. But basically, you go in with a skirmish live, but you can't dig in. You have to be seen. You have to keep yourself visible to the guys so they know where you are. And he talks about his maturity, his capability was so important to settle down the men. He's saying they will fight harder and better if they know Doc will rush up to help them if they go down. I just love, love, love that everyday awareness that he brings home to me. I so understand his point, and I'm so grateful for his service. What an amazing memoir for D-Day. Read it. We have some in the store, so come in and get them, but read it anytime. This week also, in case you haven't heard, The French Ingredient is the first book in our Women in Europe series. I'm sorry, book club series. And we've set up the next two as well. It's basically women worth knowing who went to Europe. And I'm going to offer you guys first dibs on those two and a discount. So look for that in this email. But I started with that, really loved it. That book club is Thursday night. And then I went to the Paris novel, which for sure is a fiction that I'm going to recommend. I can't wait to tell you about Ruth Reichl. Boy, is it deep into the food and the Paris experience. And really, I would say unforgettable characters. There's three that I will never forget. So really like it, will recommend it. And then I may make it, this comes out June 11th. This is a post-COVID memoir where Glynis, as a single person, decides to go to Paris, high on the hog a little bit. And the memoir is supposed to be fun, hilarious, and I can't wait to read it when it comes out. Hopefully I'll get it done in time. Other fiction I'm going to talk about, Mrs. Quinn's Rise to Fame. I haven't finished it yet. General and Julia, historical nonfiction. Love, 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 love. Colton Gentry's Third Act. Again, fun, kind of romance, but just so well done. I loved it. I can't wait to tell you. And The Guncle Abroad. I mean, come on. How in how good a mood can we be just because of a book? So fun. If you haven't read the first one, read it. But basically, the uncle of these two, he calls them nibblings, his niece and nephew. He has to take them to Europe. His brother's getting married in Italy, but he goes on a tour, can you believe it, to show the kids what love is, because their dad is getting married, his brother, and they really wish he weren't. Stepmom, what? Okay, she's an Italian Marchesa, but they don't care. So he goes to three of the best cities in Europe to show them what love is. It's just so fun and yet full of heart. Not a fiction. I started this one. If you don't know, Doris Kearns Goodwin was made to Dick Goodwin, who was a Kennedy man and also a Johnson man. And they met when they were both in the White House. And they decided to go through, as his health was failing, he couldn't get around as well, 300 boxes of Dick Goodwin's memorabilia. And they talked it over. And over the decades, they disagreed about a fair amount um, of policy issues. And she's such a great writer. This is the story of their relationship and the 300 boxes. Can't wait. He wrote a wonderful book of the 60s and policy and politics in that decade as well, Dick Goodwin. I loved it. George Stephanopoulos, The Situation Room. It goes into details for, I think it's 6 or 7 presidents on what happens in crisis. Fascinating. I'm reading this now. I'm on a French kick, as you can see. I've always wondered what in the heck is going on in with Vichy France. I've always been curious about how that could ever happen. And in this case, the leader of the Vichy government, Pétain, who was a World War I superhero, the hero of World War I and Verdun, they put him on trial as soon as the Americans take over and German leaves their occupation of France. My son is going to law school in a few weeks, and so we're going to read this as a family because it's his trial. It's France on trial. I think when you get to know a country and how complicated they are, it's just all the better. It's not just wine and food. I'm cooking a lot. I'm going to talk to you guys about this. Is my favorite summer cookbook. I missed having a kitchen while I was in Philly. Okay, and then these are things that I'm considering reading. I think I will read. Unraveling came recommended to me, and this is about a woman who's a fabulous scientist and author who decided to knit because she loved to knit, shear sheep, and go all the way into the making from the scalp of the sheep all the way to the knitting needles. I've read about 50 pages. Her voice is just hilarious. And I came highly recommended to me from Janet Avila from The String Theory. So I'm really thinking this is going to make my list. I can't wait to read this. It's about the powerful women of Fifth Avenue department store fashion. And I love books of strong women because, not because who they married to, but just because they were total badass business people who navigated in a world where they weren't too welcome. I can't wait. It's not too long. I can do it. And then this, I've heard great things about Jen Psaki, who, of course, was communications director for the first part of Biden's presidency. And I've heard it's witty and wise, and can't wait to read it. You guys, Paris Olympics this summer. Let's enjoy that, but let's get ready for our election year. See you guys.